Welcome to Elliott Wave Forex.com educational video. Today we are going to take a look at the zigzag structure. Zigzag is a three waves corrective structure labeled as an ABC. So if you can see right here, this is an A, a B, and a C. And we can see in the subdivision is 5, 3, and then 5. So sometimes we are calling zigzag is a 5, 3, 5 structure. The subdivision of wave A is in 5 waves, and then wave B is in 3 waves, and then wave C is in 5 waves. Now these 5 waves here can either be impulsive or diagonal, same thing as the C leg. This can be impulsive or a diagonal. Now an impulsive means that the subdivision of this 1, 3, and 5 itself is also in 5 waves. So that is what impulsive means. So this is 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, and this is also 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. That's what impulsive is. But if it is a diagonal, then the subdivision of wave 1, wave 3, and then wave 5 can be in 3 waves. So this can be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and that will be a diagonal in that case. All right, so it is a 5, 3, 5. This needs to be 5 waves, but the 5 waves can either be impulsive or it can be a diagonal. Now another thing about zigzag here, the wave B here can be any corrective structure. Now there are a couple of different corrective structures within Elliott Wave. So this one can be, for example, a zigzag of a lesser degree. So this could be an ABC or a zigzag of a lesser degree. It can be a flat, which is another corrective structure we're going to be looking at other videos. It can be also a triangle. So this can also be a triangle. So again, the wave B can be any type of corrective structure. Now about the Fibonacci relationship, the wave B on the second leg usually is between 50% and 85.4% retracement of the wave A. So the wave B can never go above the beginning of the wave A. So this is a bearish zigzag. All right, so it starts from the top left to the bottom right. So it is a bearish zigzag. So in this case, the wave B cannot go above the beginning of the wave A. In a bullish zigzag, where we start from the bottom left to the top right, then the wave B, so that will be in the opposite of this structure here, this A, B, C like this. Then the wave B cannot go below the beginning of the wave A in that bullish zigzag. So wave B, as far as it does not go above or below the beginning of the wave A, that should be okay. Typically between 50% retracement all the way to 85.4% retracement of the wave A. The wave C on the third leg usually is between 61.8% to 123.6% of the wave A. This is what we call Fibonacci Extension. All right, the way you measure it is you project the length of the wave A, and then after that you project it from the starting point of the wave B. So what you got here is the wave C. So if the wave C length here is between 61.8% of the wave A all the way to 123.6% of the wave A, then that will be what a zigzag looks like. Okay, but if the third leg of the wave C reaches 161.8% of the wave A, so you can see if the wave C is long and extended, then you should start thinking whether this is, instead of an ABC, this can be a wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3, and then if that's the case, then we can be looking at wave 4 and then wave 5. So again, to give you a review of an impulse, this is an impulsive structure right here. Let's take a look. This is an impulsive structure, and we got this with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. The subdivision here is very similar until the third leg with ABC zigzag. We can see that there is a 5 waves, a 3 waves, and then another 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is also a 5, 3, 5. So the way you know whether this is an ABC or it is a 1, 2, 3 with 4 and 5 coming is whether the third leg is extended or not, right? If the third leg is not extended, and if it is between 61.8% to 123.6%, then that means it is most likely an ABC. But if the third leg is extended and reaches 161.8%, then you should start thinking whether this is actually a 1, 2, 3 with 4 and then 5. Same thing if it is a bullish 535, then when the third leg, in this particular case, if the third leg right here is extended, you should start thinking whether this is a 1, 2, 3 and then followed by 4 and then 5 to the upside. All right. Now the zigzag can come from after 5 waves. In this particular case, this is a 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an ABC zigzag correction. We can see the zigzag here, an A, B, and then C, subdivided into 5, 3, 5. This is what we looked at earlier, a 535 zigzag structure, right? So this is what most people are familiar with. They label ABC zigzag after 5 waves move, right? Whether it is 5 waves up or 5 waves down. But the zigzag does not always have to be coming after a 5 waves move. The zigzag can be part of a more complex corrective structure, what we call a double zigzag or a WXY, or also called a double threes. All right, and we're going to take a look at an example of each one of this to get it more clear. But this is the general structure of a WXY or double threes. This is a combination of two different corrective structures and then combined by WXY. So in this case, on the left side we have a flat structure, on the right side we have a zigzag structure, and then we combine the two corrective structures together with a WXY. So this is called double threes. Now if the left side is a zigzag and the right side is also a zigzag, we call them double zigzag because we have two different zigzags, combine them together. But what we want to be looking at here is, you notice here this zigzag here, this is an ABC zigzag. It is a 5, 3, 5, but this zigzag does not come after 5 waves. You see that there is no 5 waves that comes before this ABC. So when you try to label a chart, okay, you do not always have to find 5 waves before you are labeling a zigzag. So the zigzag in reality can always be part of a more complex corrective structure. In fact, if you're trading the Forex, you will see this WXY structure a lot, okay, and therefore you will find out that sometimes an ABC happens very frequently without any preceding 5 waves move at all. All right, so we're gonna take a look at an example here to see if we can find an example for each one of them. Let's start with this example in which we got a zigzag coming after 5 waves. Now this is Euro stocks for our chart. It's a European index. We can see if we start from here, from this low, and look at this rally here, we can see in the rally looks to be, we can try to label this as a 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. But that's not what our focus is. This is the 5 waves that come before this ABC zigzag correction here. Now this is an example of a 5 waves in which the subdivision of wave 1, wave 3, and wave 5 is in 3 waves instead of is in 5 waves, right? So this is an example of a diagonal, right? It looks like impulsive, right? It looks like impulsive. We got extension in the wave 3, but if you take a look at the subdivision, okay, this is 3 waves. This is also definitely 3 waves from here. So subdivision is in 3 waves within wave 1, 3, and 5. So that's a diagonal. But our focus today is on the correction. So after we got 5 waves move, we got this 3 waves down or 3 waves correction, A, B, C. Now like we said earlier, a zigzag is a 5, 3, 5 structure. We can see that this wave A, the first leg, subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. Okay, that should be pretty clear. Now how about the wave B? The wave B here is subdivided into a triangle. Now we talked about it earlier that the wave B in a zigzag, okay, it can be any corrective structure including a triangle. So in this case, this is an example in which you have a B, and the B is subdivision is a triangle, an A, a B, a C, a D, and then an E. Okay, and then you got the third leg of wave C, and this wave C also is a 5 waves impulse. Now it's kind of hard to see in the subdivision here in the 4-hour chart, but if I downgrade to the 1 hour, you can see in the subdivision here, this is the triangle, and this is the wave B, and then this is a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it is an impulse. So we can see here, this is an ABC zigzag coming after 5 is up, and the C, okay, with C here, the relationship, the Fibonacci relationship ends at 76.4% extension of the wave A. So if you measure the length of wave A projected from here, from the start of wave B, you can see that this wave C is 76.4% of wave A. Like we talked about earlier, typically wave C is between 61.8% all the way to 123.6% of the wave A. Again, if it reaches 161.8%, wave C starts to get too long, and then you start thinking whether it becomes an impulse, right? So if we see a long wave on the C leg, then you should start thinking whether, you know, this is actually an ABC or whether this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So this is an example of an ABC zigzag coming after 5 waves. So let's take a look at another example of a zigzag that is part of a complex correction, like we talked about it earlier here. This one is a zigzag that is part of a complex correction called WXY or double threes. All right. Now, if we take a look at euro dollars, we can see in the rally, if we focus the rally from this low to this high, we can see this is a bullish sequence because it keeps making a new high. It is a high. So that is the definition of a bullish sequence. It's a high. Now we're gonna be focusing on this leg here. Now if we take a look at this leg, okay, this is clearly a 1, a 2, a 3. This is a 3-ways move, guys, right? So we cannot label this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example, because you might be tempted to do that, but honestly, this is too big for a wave 4. Look at this. This is wave 1, and this wave 4. That is too big for a wave 4, honestly speaking. All right, and you can see that it breaks this trend line. That suggests that this is a new cycle that has nothing to do with this move. So in other words, if you want to label, you have to know the distribution as well, how big the pullback is. In this case, okay, the pullback looks too big to label it as a, you know, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is best labeled as a 3-ways move. Starting from here, we got this 1, 2, and then 3. Now take a look at the subdivision of this 3 waves move. You cannot label this 3-ways move as an ABC zigzag, first of all. Why? Because in order for you to label this as an ABC, again, if you remember the requirement of the subdivision of A, the A needs to be 5 waves, but this one is not really 5 waves. And this third leg, the C, also does not look to be, I mean, look at this. This is best to be labeled as 1, 2, 3, right? It is best to be labeled as a 1, 2, 3. Look at the distribution there. So we can see this subdivision over here is a zigzag, an ABC. You notice here, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is an ABC of 5, 3, 5, which is the first leg of this W, and then we got a correction, and then we got another high, okay, and you notice here in the third swing has a subdivision of also another zigzag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with A, right? And then you got correction with B, and then after that you got another 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so you got from here a zigzag on the left side, a zigzag on the left side, a zigzag on the right side, connected together. So it becomes a double zigzag, a WXY. We call this double three. Double three is a more general term for WXY, but if both legs are a zigzag, we can call them double zigzag. So in this case, the left side is zigzag, the right side is also a zigzag, so we call them double zigzag. But we can see here that this ABC doesn't have to be coming after 5 waves move. It can be part of a more complex correction called a WXY. So I hope this video is clear to understand about the zigzag, and I'll see you again in other videos talking about different structures.